That is a new dancing gif. Hi, welcome to the April 14th, 2023 episode of Thalmor Radio. Ooh. All right. Skinny. It is skinny penis time. There's not much to talk about. Continuing the tradition thus far of this year, there is nothing to talk about. I have a few topics. I want to talk about what we did for April Fools and go from there. So, this year, here in Thalmor, we have done a second April Fool's thing. I will not say what the first one was. That was, I think, year before last. And the reason why I don't want to say what it is because I might reuse it for next year. Those who know it, you probably already know it. If you know it, I ask you don't say what it is in case I want to reuse it for next year. But for this year, me and Zig exclusively, we didn't tell Lysander, we didn't tell Kills, we didn't tell Chad. Me and Zig together plotted a fake breakup. And so if you were listening to the last show, especially live, but also the recording, you would know that the episode ended with an argument. It was completely fake. I thought me and Zig did a good job, but a lot of you were suspicious. But no, I don't think entirely convinced. I think we sold it as well as we could have because we didn't rehearse or anything. We talked and chatted about what we would do, but that's about it. The climax of the joke was that I washed my hands of the situation. I gave ownership to Zig and I left the server. And we were going to keep the joke going until Lysander's show last week. And then like towards the end of Lysander's show or something, when he ran out of things to talk about, that was when I was going to come back on and we were going to I was going to burst out of the metaphorical cake here. We pulled the plug early because Lysander was threatening to walk. And so it's like, well, okay, so that was going to go till Friday, but I think Monday after April's Fool, or maybe it was Sunday, I rejoined the server and was like, it was a joke, LOL. And I kept. Yes, you may. I don't know, Zig. In the polls, like people were like, it was neck and neck, or even you were getting more votes than me that you should keep ownership. I think people were willing to give you a shot. But anyways, I rejoined the server, and as I rejoined, Zig said, "Hey, I'm going to keep ownership, and that can be like a second part to the joke," and I was okay with that. So the whole thing where he kept server ownership and I was pissy about it, that was a part 2 to the joke. That was kind of more passive in the background. And then finally, like, I think on Saturday, I asked for it back and he gave it back. And we were supposed to end the joke with me kicking Zig and then him rejoining, but we didn't execute on that because I was pretty much ready to move on. So I probably would have gotten mad if you never did hand it back. And that probably could have been really funny. I don't know, but at that point, it would have gotten kind of serious. I think so. It's for the best that you handed it back over. But I can respect the commitment to the bit. I can respect that. And what's funny, Zig, is that like when I was trying to pitch the idea to you, you were like, "I don't know if I can do it," and here you are telling me you was ready to go all the way with it. That's funny. I'm a bad influence on you, Zig. No. Not easy. And that's basically it. It was all fake. It was fun. Next year, I'm probably going to reuse the old joke that we did. Or maybe the year after. Oh, now that I've said it, I might wait till like 2025 before I bust that up again. Because now that I've said it, now you guys want me looking out for it. Shit. Oh well. Like I'm reading chat here. Like people were getting worried. I told CCT because he handled the recording. Like Kills Bob got into my DMs. I lied to him. Cajun, I lied to her. Chad, I couldn't stand to lie to him because Chad sent a lovely message to me where he was like, "Man, I support you no matter what. I just want to know if this is the end." And like he really poured his heart out to me, and I could not stand to lie to him. So I let him in on it because I couldn't. He had his heart on his sleeve too much. I couldn't lie to him. I did lie to you, Cajun. You're right, and I did lie to Kills. I even like. Well, I won't finish what I was going to say, but like I took it pretty far. Maybe not as far as I could have, but I took it pretty far. And yes, I was ready to keep this joke going for a while, but is what it is. Okay, that's the April Fool's things. I'm ready to talk about the game. And Mr. Burr says it was the farthest April Fool's joke I've ever witnessed. Because here's the problem with April Fool's jokes is that I want, and this is not just true of April Fool's. If I'm going to play a prank on someone, I want to really get them. I want to really make them. I want to really trick them. And the problem with April Fool's is that everyone has their psychic defenses up because they know it's April Fool's. So the only way I feel to do a right April Fool's joke is to just take it super, super far. And that's what we did with our first joke, which again, I'm not going to say what that was. And that's what we did with this one. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, game time. So people are losing money. There was one guy who I will refer to as the big dog. The big dog went around to like every like bank the game has and took out loans and then just never paid them back to the tune of like $6 billion. And so he just defaulted on all of them. And there's like nothing anyone can do about it. So Listing just says this was not an average situation, and Borg says he also possibly made a multi-twist. Okay, so it sounds a bit more complicated than what I just laid out. So I'm happy for the extra context because I didn't know. Liz Sanders says, quote, dude had been involved in the business community for years. It was more of an inside job than a common defense situation. I'm trying to think. There's this mobster who makes content on YouTube about like the mobster Michael something. I can't remember his name, but he's got a big YouTube channel. And he's talked about how that's how you'll have jewelry heists happen, is that the mob is not an external threat that moves on like the jewelry store and steals the jewelry. Instead, what happens is that with heists and stuff, there's usually someone on the inside, and then they work with the mob to like work out, the operation. And so there was an insider here that did this. More of an inside job. He was around since pre-TOS. Was a fairly trusted source that had been consistent in past retainment and been around for months. Huh. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. I'm back. Let's hear the honk on here. I didn't really blow it. I just wiped away the accumulating snot in my nose. It wasn't Larry Lawton. It's someone else. As long as he ain't slapping his thigh. Hillbilly the... I will slap my thigh. Why would I... Okay. This will... Okay, so there was... Now, it wasn't just the $6 billion. It was like... It was something else. Okay, some micro bank also lost like $2 billion. So basically, everyone's losing money, and that's funny. Why not slap a different part like the ass? I'll slap my ass. There you go. So everyone's losing money, and that's funny because business in this. You know what? There's too much money in this game. Some people just need to lose it. Some people just need to go broke, honestly. TBH, for real, for real. Where's my fucking itinerary? There it is. So, Lysander says there's too much and then support condensation of the money. What the fuck? I believe that the rich whales should lose all their, except for Grumpy, but all the rich whales should lose their money, and it should go to the faithful and the Knights Templar, who will use it to... We'll do something good with it. I know that. I don't know what, but we'll figure out a good purpose for the money. Because we are God's chosen, and we're holy, and we just deserve it. And if you don't want to peacefully give us money like the Commonwealth has, then maybe we'll get it some other way. When it comes, money just disappears around us for some reason. I don't really know why. It just kind of does. But when you're walking down the road and there's a $20 bill on the sidewalk and you pick it up, well, the Lord just blessed you. You know what? The Lord sometimes just blesses us. It really do just be that way sometimes. So there's a war going on, and it's called, according to the wiki, it's called the Infinity War for some fucking reason, because cape shit brained people play this game and they think this stuff is way more important than it really is. The war is also called the Boo banking crisis, the Bo the Bo 0 banking crisis. I don't know what does Boo even stand for, or Bo. What should these alliances? I don't even know. What's BOO? Is that a block name? Guys, what's BOO? Bank of Orbis. Thank you, guys. The Majin Buu banking crisis, the Roman Empire banking crisis, or the Polar Cam War. That's a lot of different names. Well, actually, I mean, I don't know. Alliances will. That's fine. Different communities will have different names for the war. That's fine, actually. But it's been going on since January 26th. This fucking thing's been going on for 2.5 months now. Like, okay. But some people pieced out already. Roman Empire pieced out. The pasta is the Roman Empire is fighting the Roman Imperial Republic. But you some of these people. I just want to say you guys, but you guys are listening to this show, so you're awesome. This doesn't apply to you, but some people in this community need to be fucking original. Okay, we don't need the Roman Empire and the Roman Imperial Republic. What the fuck, micro Grand Union of Nations? Oh my. NPC Alliance with a name like that. NPC Alliance. Goodness fucking gracious. But some people pieced out. Roman Empire pieced out. Pasta Factory did. Murday did. Shaken Not Stirred. Loop Snake Alliance. World Task Force. Memento Mori and Calamity and Art. So who's even fighting? New Pacific Order is okay. Not New Pacific Order. Fuck. Polaris. Polaris is still in the war here. What does it mean that Camelot and their allies are still fighting Polaris? Can Camelot actually win this because of that? Can like Polaris? Calamity is literally hairy. Maybe Camelot can actually win. That would be funny. Because maybe the numbers is on their side now because everyone else is pieced out, and so they can actually like eke out a win, or maybe they can just fight for 8 months and then Camelot just dies or something. I mean, that can also happen. I'm under the impression that Camelot and allies were on the back foot, but now that all these alliances have pieced out, if that is true, then maybe they can make a comeback actually, and that would be interesting. Oh, Camelot's winning. Is it? Are we waiting for Polaris to say uncle? Is that what's going on? Oh, fucking common Epi W. Damn, common Camelot W. Let's fucking go. That if Epi does quit the game, and he's just waiting till the war ends, that's a great way for Epi to cap out his time in politics and war. If he does quit, is to just dunk on Polaris. Like based. Polaris has one member with an offensive war. That is one more offensive war than I would expect. So, epic Polaris comeback imminent. Is he winning? No. Polaris is like Mom said if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. So I'm not going to say it. Hold on. Cantus Belly. Ark wants to raid. Polaris, World Task Force, and every other micro involved. Boo freezing funds multiple parties without cause. Booty parting from neutrality. Oh, I guess this means Tiberius might win the war, actually, because the Polaris and their coalition has pieced out. So like Tiberius got convicted in court, but he might win the war. um oh, Tiberius is still getting rolled. Okay. So that's going on. Um Okay, now I have to talk about a serious problem in the community. And this is like really something this is something that bothers me, and it's something I would like to see Alex act on because it needs to be rectified immediately. It needs to be fixed. Because this is a community problem, and it is completely unaddressed. And I'm not happy with that. So there's too much food in the game. There's like 4 billion food and growing. And and that's not good at all. We need Alex intervention because there's too much food, and there's a problem, which is that hold on, I got my nose again. You got for and here's the thing, like, okay, we have like three, like we have what we had late last year, in which you have three different wars going on between six different blocks, and like even if the nukes were being launched, right, and the war went on for like 3 months, like I don't know if that would make that big of a dent in this food. I it I have a dream that everyone starves in nuclear winter. And I am terrified that because there's 4 billion food, that and it's only going to compound because more players are joining the game, more people are growing in city count and infra count, and wars are shorter again compared to where they were like 3-4 years ago. Like I am terrified that we will never see nuclear winter that results in like the food supply like dropping. Because I remember one of the first times that we had nuclear winter, and Alex was giving day-to-day updates on the politics and war, like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, talking about how like, oh, there's only like 20 million food left in the game. Only 13% of nations have enough food to last for the next month. Like stuff like that. That was fucking awesome. Like live, like here's how many players are starving. That needs to make a comeback. We need day-to-day count about how many people are starving. So there you go. We need, and that's community engagement, which is good for the game, is doing that kind of stuff. So this is a game problem. This is an out of character problem. Okay. This affects Alex's business model. We need war. We need harsh, decisive, terrible war with tons of nukes, people switching to wartime builds, which means guess what? You gotta get rid of those farms. You gotta replace them with barracks, motherfucker. Put down that fucking hoe, okay? And by hoe, I mean your wife. Put down your wife. Put down your shovel. Pick up that fucking AR-15 with the extendo magazine and the bump stock, okay? And then throw it away because it's getting in the way of you pressing the nuke button. Okay? So there you go. Yeah, we need nuclear war again. Final topic. It is with great regret and interpretation. That's not even a word, I don't think. I think I said the wrong thing. It is with trembling regret that I have to inform you guys that this is a live picture. I can't do this over again. This is a picture I snapped from the Hand of Fate Discord. I took this. The light descended from heaven, and within the Hand of Fate, something deep was awoken within us. The light, the divine spark of the Lord shone through us, and we realized, no, we took a wrong step somewhere. Sin will take you further than you want to go, keep her longer than you want to stay. And we decided that it was time to go back. And so we rebranded back to the Knights Templar, which means that beautiful 4-paragraph memorial wall of text that's been staying in Knights Templar for a year and a half means I basically wrote it for nothing. My not eulogy eulogy was for nothing because we're back. So eulogy. What happened was this was like 2 weeks ago. Valeni Vass was in the member chat in Hand of Fate and was like, you know what? We need to be Templars again. And then not even the KT members who helped form Hand of Fate alongside Paragon, like all of the new established members, like Alexios from Rose and like the 2 House Dark members we got, like all of them were like, yeah, that's awesome. And so Ducksuck held a vote and was like, should we stay Hand of Fate or should we become Knights Templar again? And so Ducksuck posted like the hand emoji or Hand of Fate and then the Templar cross emoji for KT. And I shit you not, the final vote was like 0 Hand of Fate to like 33 KT. Like everyone, not of course all the KT people voted for KT, but like the newbies and the post-merge like established players who joined, they were all like, yeah, we need to be on that Templar shit again. And so we're back. Hand of Fate was the alliance, Knights Templar was the offshore. That's been switched. Now Knights Templar is the alliance and Hand of Fate is the offshore. That's basically it. Valeni Vass, you mentioned on our last show that the global threat level to the game was at a 70. What do you think it is now? It's 85. Yeah. So the situation for Orbis is rapidly deteriorating. It's over, basically. Listener says, when's the Holy Crusade against United Umad? So that's actually funny. We did skirmish with UU some like a couple weeks ago. And so it's like, I like to think that like United Umad got so uppity that they brought the Templars back. I think it's a funny thought. Kiwi says you're not allowed to go to where you'll break the rules. So this is what actually happened. So I need to explain this. Let me give the full lore on United Umad and the KT policy of, quote, we have a permanent CB against Islamic themed alliances, end quote. United UMOD is the Muslim Politics and War Alliance, okay? I'm sure some of their members aren't Muslim. I think most of their members are. Kind of similar, but not exact to how like Knights Templar attracts Christians. Although certainly not all of our members are Christians. In fact, I think maybe the majority of them aren't. But if you're in United UMOD or UMOD, you're there because you're a Muslim, just straight up. That's almost, it's got to be true. So I don't even remember. Valeni Vass spied one of their guys. They hit Vass. We countered them, and then we spied wiped United UMOD, and we was able to do so because their only ally is Camelot, and Camelot was too busy fighting Polaris. I made a joke in Ron. I don't know what it was, but Chad, my staff member, replied to me and said, Thalmor, how will you defeat them? They have Allah on their side. And in response to saying this, a United UMOD member declared on Chad and said that he was going to launch all 14 of his nukes at Chad because he blasphemed Allah, which doesn't even make sense, but okay. And so I like to think that United UMOD played around too much. They brought back the Templars. But what happened is that back when I created Knights Templar, for those who don't know, I am the creator of Knights Templar. I was the first leader. I led for 9 months. Back in early 2017, if you wanted to make an alliance, you actually had to spend a credit to make it. I spent the credit. Literally the first member and the first leader. Okay, the genesis of Knights Templar starts with me. Although I think it was Odin who approached me and planted the seed in my head. So you can also probably give Odin some credit, or Geralt, whatever name he's going by now. But I was the first member and the first leader. I made a policy, and the policy was worded like this. We have a permanent CB against Islamic-themed alliances, and this was posted on our alliance description for all to see. Knights Templar, I don't have, you guys all have basic historical literacy. I do not have to explain the rationale behind this, except if there was any alliance that was Islamic themed, we could hit them because that's how the themes interact. We have a militant Christian theme that is based in history. So if you have this Islamic theme, we can just hit you because that's just because of how the themes interact. That's the reasoning. So on Easter, the announcement goes up. We're back. And Vass says in Ron that we're going to bring that policy back. Village, the developer behind Politics and War, had a problem with this and said, well, wait a minute, that might be against the rules. Okay. And so we proceeded to have this back and forth for like 30 minutes where we had to explain that, like, no, like it's playing the game. And so the way the conversation basically went was that I guess the concern is that, like, it's the out of character, in character separation, right? As the originator of the policy, the intention behind it was purely in character. And see, early 2017 was a much different time than 2023 and Politics and War. 2017, you had two sides. You had Inquisition and you had Easy Mode Coalition. Okay? Nothing happened without New Pacific Order saying he was okay, or the Knights Radiant saying it was okay. That's just how it was. It was a bipolar world. And so Knights Templar was created to be a warring alliance, and we needed all the reasons possible to be able to fight a war and justify it. And so that's why I created the policy. I didn't create the policy because it's like, fuck the Muslims who play politics and war. We're gonna drive them from the game. Like, that was never the intention. That's not the intention now. We don't give a shit. Who the fuck cares? It's purely in character. And so that back and forth was completely ridiculous, with Village going, well, you know, if you get reported, and it's like, oh, fuck, shut up. But whatever, it is what it is. Zig says, do you know who's a real heretic? The Syndicate. You cannot serve both God and Mammon. It's true. It's true. You know how I said earlier that money just disappears around us for some reason? That you know, we'll be walking along and we'll find a 20 on the sidewalk, or in this case, we'll find, you know, 20 billion in a bank somewhere. Well, you know, who knows? Maybe maybe some syndicate's money might just go away somehow from them for some reason. Who knows? It's very, very strange times we live in, you know? Feel free to use it as a CB. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm not saying KT's going to do it, but you know, the Lord just works in mysterious ways, you know, it just kind of happens. You know, I'm not threatening anyone or anything. I like the Syndicate. Why would I threaten the Syndicate? They beat our ass last time we fought them. I don't want to fight them again. I don't want to get my ass beat again that badly. All right. What else is there? While we're on the Christian thing, I want to talk about a very silly thing. It's actually not silly, but I've had an interesting spiritual interaction, and you think about things by talking about them out loud to people. So I'm going to intellectually explore this angle live on air. There is a song I was listening to. There's a rapper called Little Uzi Vert. And he has this song. And this song is called Just Wanna Rock. And before I continue, I want to see what Borg posted, because I see... Oh, Borg's posting what Village was talking about. Oh, I forgot about this. Pimpico says, quote, this also signifies return of the permanent CB on Muslim alliances, by the way. And Village says, I feel like that's racist. Motherfucker, Muslim's not a race. Muslim's not a race. That's like saying we have a permanent CB on Christians. Well, that's racist. Christians not a race. Very silly, very silly. That's what started it. Yeah, it wasn't that... Thank you, Borg. It wasn't that Village said that it was against the rules. It was that he said it might be racist, and that's how it's against the rules. I remember that. Very silly. Or that Catholics are a race. Thank you, Jack. That's more specific. But anyways. Oh, yeah, and then he said RP is an excuse for bad behavior. And it's like I guess playing... You know what? I actually agree with Village. When KT declares war on you, it actually is bad behavior. Okay? If I was attacked by KT, I probably would run to Alex, to be fair. To be honest, fam. For real, for real. Okay, but I want to go back to what I was saying. So, we're transitioning to the real life section now, although there's not much I want to talk about besides my schizo nonsense I'm about to discuss. Oh, wait, fuck, I'm doing this in the wrong order. Politics and War, final call. Any last things to go over, or are we done with Politics and War? Wait. Amish, hold on. Separation of the individual with God is gross TBH. Voice says what? And then Amish Goat says literally eating Jesus is too. Christ commanded us to take communion, though. It's not gross. We are literally commanded to. Like, whatever. Morph Radio was yesterday. It is uploaded to the Thalmor Radio channel. It was a good episode. I recommend people go watch it. I do not play Diplomacy and Strife. I don't care to talk about it. Zig, what happened to Odyssey and Nations at Risk? Y'all blew up for some reason. What happened? Did Spartan lose interest in Nations at Risk? The developer? Gotcha. I actually really like Nations at Risk mechanically. It couldn't keep me stuck like Politics and War somehow fucking has, but there's a lot of care into that game, and I really like that. Okay. But nation states has hundreds of thousands of people, and there's nothing to do on that game. So it's not even really a game, I don't think. It's a game in the loosest sense of the word. So I don't know. Which, I mean, online games like Raid Shadow Legends or Clash of Clans or something, I mean, it's always good to approach something like that from a business standpoint, because they are businesses ultimately. Politics and War is a business, Nations at Risk is a business. And ultimately, the lifeblood is going to be cash flow. And cash flow comes from having an active user base. And so a alternative to Politics and War or something like that would be found in it would be found if you had a fun game, whatever that would look like, which it's not as easy to build as people might think it is, I don't think. But also then you have to market it. And marketing without money is not really easy. It's possible, but it takes a while to get anywhere. Now, if you had money, it's different. If you had $100,000 to spend on marketing, you can do like Google ads, Facebook ads. You could pay a YouTuber to make a video about the game for a couple $1,000s or something. And it gets easier the more players you get, because trying to get players to join a game that has 50 players, is a lot harder to get than if the game had 500 players. And imagine, if the game had 5,000 players or 10,000 or 50,000, then it's a lot easier because you have so much going on. With Politics and War, imagine the madhouse this game would be. And I mean that actually in the best way possible. If Politics and War had 50,000 players, just imagine how chaotic it would be. It would be a completely different experience. Turn change being the full turn. Well, the server infrastructure would definitely have to be there. The game struggles with just 5,000 players now. But if Alex poured like $100,000 into like Facebook ads, like launched a really expensive like marketing campaign to get players to join, like I think he would have a lot more success now than he did years ago. But it is what it is. I think he did it for time. I joined Politics and War because of Facebook ads. Because for months I kept getting the same Facebook ad which said, "Tired of nation states? Try this instead." And I actually hated that ad at first because I thought it was pretentious. And I ignored it it actually made me mad, and I ignored it for months. Then finally, after months, on January 15th, 2015, I said, fuck it. What great thing does this advertiser have that keeps telling me it's better than nation states? I'm going to let me just see. Well, guess what, folks? I've been playing this game for about 8 years now. I don't play nation states anymore. I can sure as shit tell you that. Okay. Someone said they think Alex will see much more revenue generation coming to. I mean, that's probably true. Politics and War makes, like, I think Village said that Politics and War makes like 120 to 150 a year, which I think is true. Now, of course, there's expenses related to that. There's expenses related to that, but Alex has a pretty good thing going on. forgive me for my silence here, but I got to do a thing. Let's see here. I still have one more thing to talk about before I'm done with the show. Zig, how's Louisville? Besides the bank mass shooting. Zig, you should have been there. You should have gotten there earlier, and you should have carried a gun, and you should have stopped the shooting. You should have been a hero. Yeah, and the interesting thing is that the shooter is like a completely normal guy. Like he went to college, he played sports. Like most mass shooters are like crazy people, and they have a history of being crazy. But this guy was actually just super normal. Um. um. Boris says, how do you stop the shooting? And I said I would airstrike his planes. That I actually stole that joke. Alex Hagen, he would do that. He would say, you would ask him a question and he would answer in the politics and war way. Like you would be like, Alex, how do I deal with this? Like, how do I ask out this girl who's like really cute? And he'd be like, you need to like blockade her. It was really funny. And rest in peace, buddy. I hope he's in a better place. Okay, my final topic is I want to go back to what I was saying earlier before I got sidetracked, and I want to explain this song and my history with it over the past week. This is a rapper named Little Uzi Vert, and he's famous for a number of things because he's a fucking rapper. But he once had a gemstone worth $27 million like surgically added to his forehead, and it got yanked out by an audience member one time. And he goes back and forth between having it in and having it out. It's very bizarre. But I found a song of his lately, and the song is Just Wanna Rock. And it's very short. How long is it? It's 2 minutes long. And it's a good song. I like the song. So I added it to my Spotify playlist, and I would play it. And you know, the more I listened to it, the more problems I had with the song that convinced me that it was satanic and that it's probably best I don't listen to it anymore. And you may be wondering, wow, Thalmor, I know you joke about being schizophrenic, but maybe you really are. And my response to that is, well, let me explain myself first, because I like to think that I'm actually a pretty down-to-earth, normal guy. And so let me explain why this song is a work of the devil. So can, let, hold on, can I post this? Because a lot of you guys probably have Spotify, so let me. It would be easier to explain. Yeah, hold on. Let me post it to Discord. Yeah, Discord, Thalmoria, Thalmor Radio. The song is just here. I posted the Spotify link right there in chat. I encourage you guys to open the link on mobile because part of my argument stems from, you know how on Spotify when you listen to songs, if you like tap the song to control to read the lyrics and control like how far you are in the song, there will be usually like a background video or a background image. This song features a 360 panorama of a crowd in like a stadium. Um, and so let me explain this image first because, like, it's hard to describe the people in the audience because there's a visual effect in which it's in black and white for the most part, except there's this pulsating grayness across the white bits. So where the heads and limbs of people start and end, it's hard to make out. The lyrics are actually fine. I have no problem with the lyrics themselves. The lyrics are very basic. It's other things that bother me about it. One of this being the background thing, because like some of the people in the audience in this image appear to have like goat heads or cow heads, which is a very like satanic thing. But beyond that, everyone is facing the stage, and the stage is crazy because the stage looks like there's people falling into a pit, and the pit is white. But then there's like another circle that people are falling from that looks red. It looks like hell. It looks like you have people like falling like from hell into like another white pit. It's very strange. There's also a figure in the crowd that just doesn't look like a person. It looks like straight up like a demon. In fact, I'm going to screenshot what I'm talking about and post it here in chat. Yeah. So you have these figures. Now, a lot of the figures look like normal people, but you have okay. And someone posted another thing. What is that? Yeah, like in the center, that just straight up looks like a demon in the crowd, like not even a person. But I'm also blind, so maybe I'm just wrong. But it looks like there's just a straight up demon in the crowd, or maybe that's because of the mirror image. But it looks crazy to me. My second problem with the song, like I said, I actually do not have I don't have a problem with the lyrics. The lyrics are fine to me. It's a standard rap song. But there's this weird jingle towards the end that is kind of bizarre. After the lyrics ends, it transitions into this jingle before the song ends. And the jingle is just weird to me because the jingle is completely different than anything else. And let me see if I can actually. I'm actually going to. I'm going to play the jingle through my phone so you guys can hear it. And that's okay because it's not copyright because I'm providing commentary, so it's transformative. So if we get a copyright strike, I will fight it and I will go to court over it because I'm in the right here. So I was having to play the song for a couple seconds to find the part. So here it is. have no idea how well that came across over the microphone. If you want to listen to it yourself, just open up the song and listen. It's the last 10 seconds of the song. That it's some kind of, I think it might be like a synth wave or something, but it is completely different from anything else in the song, and like it gives me a weird feeling. I never really noticed it until I really focused on it, and it got stuck in my head, and it gave me a weird feeling. My spiritual defenses went, wait a minute, this isn't passing the sniff test. There's something weird here. So that encouraged me to decide, okay, we got Goatmen in the song's background image. We got a jingle in the past 10 seconds that is completely different from the rest of the song. Let me look up Lil Uzi Vert and see what I can find about him, right? And so I went to Lil Uzi Vert's Wikipedia page. And I'm just going to read what it says because it's really funny. Satanism, personal life. Woods has been accused of being a Satanist, originally by battle rapper Dayland, who claimed that Woods worshipped Satan. In July 2018, Woods told a crowd of fans that they were, quote, going to hell with them. In August 2017, Woods created controversy by adding satanic imagery to their social media accounts and saying phrases often associated with Satanism, such as 666. Woods frequently promotes Satanism on their social media, which went far enough to warrant their Instagram access being taken from them by their record label. This guy is such a Satanist that his record label had to step in and say, you know what, like maybe tone it down some. So we got Goatman in the image, a demon in the image, a weird satanic, some kind of strange jingle that doesn't pass the is this okay test. And now Woods's friend is like, this guy is a Satan worshiper. And then Woods told his fans that they were all going to hell with him. So guys, like, I listened to this song for a week and I really hate it because I hate that I am now feeling compelled spiritually and intellectually to not listen to the song anymore, because I actually really like the song. It's a good song. It's a party song. It's the kind of song you play at a party that sounds really fucking awesome over like the loudspeakers and the bass. But unfortunately, I think the song is a bad song, so I can't listen to it anymore. I am not telling you guys to listen to the song. I explained it earlier in the show. I explained that I wanted to think out loud about how I feel and why I feel it about this song. Official Thalmor advice for this week. Don't listen to Just Wanna Rock by Lil Uzi Vert, because it's fruit from the poisonous tree. Now, why did my friend DM me about? He probably wants to tell me to go on to play Magic tonight. Bro, stop stress saint affecting. I have given the intellectual reason not to listen to the song. If people will choose to listen to it, that is on them. But I mainly just wanted to explain why I thought the way I did. So there you go. Because this is Thalmor Radio, and I talk about myself and what I think. Cajun says, if someone made a Satan-themed alliance, what would you do? We would probably attack them. Like, well, I don't know. It depends, honestly. Like, was Morningstar Satanist theme? Were they? I don't remember that. They might have been. We were allies with them, actually. Morning Star is Lucifer's last name. Really? The Covenant's witchcraft. That's okay though. When you say a Satan themed alliance, I'm thinking like explicitly a Satanist alliance, like how United UMAD is an explicit Muslim. I'm talking like these people are genuinely Satanists and they're very blatant about it. Like the Coven, that doesn't really bother me. Morningstar, that doesn't really bother me. I'm not compelled to really care. But if there was a honest to God like theistic Satanist alliance that really went all out, then like I would petition Vass and Duck to amend the policy so that both like Satanist alliances would also be included onto it. Morningstar was full of crazy people. There are theistic Satanists, Talleyrand. I once came across some on Twitter, and they were evil, just straight up. Like, which I don't understand. Well, they were like, they weren't violent or anything. They were just like, yep, it's, I can't remember what all they said, but they were like, the concept of like Christ crucifixion, they were like really giddy about it. Like it's hard to describe. It's hard to put into words. But they were like, oh, they really bought into the whole Satan is good thing. It was creepy. Biblically, Satan is God's. Hey, fucking, like, I mean, they know how the story ends. Revelation has been a book for almost 2 millennium now. Like, we know how the story ends. Nothing changes that. And yet, the fallen angels, they continue to persist anyways. And it's like I understand why people rebel against God because we're stupid, right? Like I understand that. They're still wrong, but I understand it. But it's like you would think higher spiritual beings would understand that like their time is coming. And I mean that in the worst way possible. Like the ending's been written already. Like you already tried and you lost again when Christ was crucified and resurrected, and now you're going to lose a third time. You know you're going to lose a third time, but whatever. It's usually, I mentioned Lil Uzi Vert and his rap song here, but it's usually the middle. Some metal songs give me a weird feeling that no other music generally does. And I think some of that heavy metal stuff really is demonic inspired. And I don't know what it means that I will listen to some songs and the lyrics are fine, or there's nothing with the lyrics that immediately call out to me in any way, but they give me a weird feeling, and it to the point where it's just like I can like the song, but it's still somehow in my chest uncomfortable to listen to. And so, like I said, I guess just triggers some kind of spiritual defense, and it's like I can't listen to this. It's not kosher. Um, it could just be edgy stuff. Oh yeah, and the theistic Satanists are even more bizarre to me because okay, it's bizarre to me that the fallen angels still revolt after getting their shit kicked in twice, basically. Once during their failed revolt against God, and then a second time with Christ's life, death, resurrection, and ascension. But like the theistic Satanists, like, okay, first off, if you're going to go all in and become a theistic Satanist, then you should have a good spiritual grasp of like the whole situation, right? And it's like you like at least the fallen angels are spiritual beings, right? You know, they're a soldier in the war, I guess. You're just a dumb human who's completely powerless, and like you're a dumb sack of meat. And like you should have a better understanding than even a lot of Christians on Satan, the Bible, the historic record, everything. And like you're choosing the losing side still. Like the book of Revelation is like, I don't know, it's very bizarre to me. It's very bizarre to me. That is also true, Lysander. There's not a lot of apologetics. And also just the nature of like Protestantism. Like you ask 15 different Christians a question, you get 16 different answers. But it is what it is. This is going off the rails. No, Kiwi, we're in the real life section now. Rejoin the Father Church. CCT? Based Catholic? Wait a minute. Is this new CCT lore that I was unaware of? Catholics are basically atheists at this point. Avatar Patrick says something interesting. Maybe Satanists think that God is actually the villain. So, like, the explanation of like why did Lucifer or Satan, whatever, why did he revolt? Why did the angels revolt? Why do they continue to be in revolt? Why do the theistic Satanists exist? Like, I think the answer is like arrogance, pride. Pride is the answer. Like it's not that they're necessarily being unreasonable, it's that they're just prideful. And I think that makes sense to me. And the theistic Satanists, it might be different with them though. I have come to learn something, and I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. Like you're either in one of two camps. You're either a Christian and you choose to be a Christian and you submit to God. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that you're a good Christian. It's just that you can be a bad Christian, still be a Christian, or you can be not a Christian. And if you're not a Christian, that means you're just not a Christian. It means that you're agnostic, you're atheist, you don't know, you're some other belief. You're either in one of two camps. And my experience with the faith was, I was like 13. Like I had a little atheist phase for 6 months or something, which isn't a long time when you're 13. 6 months is like a decade. And that's because I discovered like the online atheists. And they had some good points that I found compelling. 13-year-old Thalmor was very interested in what the online atheists had to say. If God is so loving and just, then how come he ordered the Israelites to slaughter the Philistines and the women and the children too? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. And so I was like, well, I don't know what to believe anymore. And for whatever reason, and I am very blessed, so this caused a very painful conflict within me. I felt like internally I was being torn asunder by this, And it got to the point where I said, you know what? Like, forget this. I'm going to go back to how I was before. Everything I'm being taught in Sunday school and in my Christian school I attend, and everything my grandma tells me, and everything the preachers on TV says, I'm just going to believe it. I'm going to stop questioning everything. And time went on, a couple of years went on, and I went back to church regularly. The eternal conflict ended. And I've been a Christian ever since. And my faith has only gotten stronger as time went on. And of course, when I say that I want to stop asking questions, do not misinterpret that as Thalmor has chosen to be willfully ignorant of real things. That's not true at all. I've kept a very open mind. I was a young earth creationist that completely rejected evolution. Now I have an amateur interest in evolutionary biology. I'm open to the interpretation of a literal Genesis creation story, and that the Earth may actually be 6,000 years old. I'm open-minded to that, but I find a lot of answers in evolutionary biology when I look at things, at life around me. So I'm okay with that. I am not a stupid, ignorant person. I'm really not. As the years have went on, I've grown out of being a teenager. I've become an adult. I have kept an open mind, but I have my baseline Christian faith that is pretty unshaken, to be honest. And I'm saying all this because it's my personal testimony. Because the whole central point of my testimony here is that I chose to submit. I chose to go down on one knee and say, yes, Christ, your Lord. And without consciously thinking about it, just naturally, as the months and years went on, my faith returned and I was at peace. And I've been very happy with how my life has been, thanks to my faith and my interactions therein. So the difference between the Christian camp and the non-Christian camp is that the Christians choose to submit. The Christians, you have the bad Christians. I consider myself a bad Christian. I cuss, I get drunk, not too often. I get drunk once a month. I carefully control it. I don't go to church anymore, although I am trying to fix that now. I'm going to incrementally go to church more and more. I went to church on New Year's. I went to church on Easter. I'm going to go once a month from here on out and eventually work my way up to going back weekly. But I'm not now. I think I can be kind of mean. You guys know me as being nice, but sometimes I can be really mean. I can, especially online. Um, when Han Solo was having his meltdown in Ron weeks ago, he mentioned his dead family members, and he was using his dead family members as like a cudgel in an online argument because he wanted to get at Rose, and I actually poked fun at it. Um, it was a whole lot. Oh, gosh, ex- explaining the whole Han Solo Rose drama is beyond the scope of tonight. Maybe I'll do it some other time. But he was trying to hurt Rose. He was trying to leverage out of character stuff that was completely unrelated to hurt Rose in character. And I thought it was disgusting. And so when he tried using his relatives in that way, I made fun of him for it because that's how you respond to that kind of behavior. Is you make fun of it because it's very low. You don't use the memory of your dead friends and family to win internet arguments for a online nation zone. But at the heat of the moment, and certainly in retrospect, you could say I was being an asshole. That's probably not wrong. So I'm probably not a good Christian. Again, I cuss a lot. There's some other things I can't think of right now. Not a good Christian. Trying to get better.